3717223344. It's the number that Nick, we're talking Tottenham, is a Spurs fan. He's dialed that. Hello, Nicholas.
Gents, how are we?
We are good. How are you today?
Not very good.
Dear.
As you can imagine.
Okay, let me ask questions about you and your love of your manager. When you signed him, were you excited about it? First few games, they did really well, top of the league for what, 10, 11 games? Were you excited then?
Excited, no. Intrigued, yes. There was other managers I would have gone for over him and still would now. But there was an intrigue around him. He came across well. I mean, I didn't even know who he was, if I'm honest.
No, okay, a lot of people didn't, but you know that we've seen that before. Even Arsene Wenger, no one really knew who he was when he came over. So
yeah, and I was intrigued when he started. I thought the players seemed to buy into him, but most of the time you get a new manager bounce. You know, we had it under Jose. We went 10 or 11 games unbeaten and was top by November. So I didn't look too much into it at that time.
Okay, and now
he certainly came across well. Yeah, it just worries me. The whole time he's been at the club, it just worries me that there's a plan A, and nothing but a plan A. And his in-game management is not the top level. And, you know, look, we're a self-proclaimed big club. We're not a big club by trophies, but we self-proclaim to be. And like someone said earlier on one of the call-ins, when you take the games we've dropped points, Ipswich, Leicester, no disrespect, but Bournemouth, Fulham, the big teams don't drop points in those games, and we're dropping points. The players seem to be able to slightly raise their game. I mean, the Man City game was an anomaly. Most teams are beating City at that point, and there was disarray in their team. So, again, I can't look too much into that, albeit a great result.
Fair, Bournemouth beat Arsenal, though, as well.
Yeah, no, I'm not saying that. Listen, when we went into the game yesterday, I said that I think we could lose this game. Bournemouth at home have beat Man City, they've beat Arsenal, you're quite right. There's a way to lose, and that wasn't it. Had we have come away with a loss, but we'd have played really well, I would have been okay with that. But there is a way to lose and a way to play. He's keep on playing out from the back. We don't have the players that can do that. They're not comfortable. We've got a big target man like Solanke. Would it really hurt once in every 3 goal kicks to go long and mix it up?
Nick, listen, let me ask you, because I want to speak to a lot of Spurs fans just briefly before I let you go. What next? What do you want to do next?
Well, if he can't change, he's going to lose the dressing room by asking players to do things that they can't do. And if he carries on doing that, he is going to get the sack. And if he does, then for me, they've got to go Prem-proven, and they've got to look at Thomas Frank or Silva at Fulham.
Okay.
Yeah, you know what? He goes under the radar, you know. Marco Silva.
Sorry.
The job that he's doing at Fulham, he's going under the radar.
Yeah.
And I'm sure a few clubs are going, oh, do you know what? I mean, what a result that was. Iwobi.
Yeah.
Oh, my goodness.
No,
looks like Baggio now. Prime Baggio. Do you know what I mean?
Maybe not quite yet, but I see the connection. Darren's a Spurs fan. He's up next. Hi, Daz.
Hi, mate. How are you guys doing?
We're great. How are you today?
Mate, I'm a little bit over it. And I feel a little bit sorry for Ange. I'll tell you why.
Cool.
I don't think tactically he's good enough. He wasn't Spurs' first choice as manager. And I'll tell you who summed up my football club, and that's Antonio Conte. If you can't win a trophy with Antonio Conte or Jose Mourinho, what hope have you got? And I'll give you 2 examples. We sold Gareth Bale quite a few years ago and bought 7 bang-average footballers, yeah? The only one who made his mark was Christian Eriksen, who wasn't their first choice, I can tell you that. And then the board of directors jump up and down in the air because they managed to get £100 million for Harry Kane with 1 year left on his contract. They have bought into that football club. I'll give you a few examples, and they're good pros. I'm not questioning them. Richarlison, Solanke, Brennan Johnson, Lo Celso. Big money signings to our average players who we're just not at it.
Can I ask you a question? Can I ask you a question, Darren? Right, you make some really good points. Yeah. And I don't mean to sound patronising, but it's a serious question. When you say really average players, right?
Yeah.
Are you not buying players to the level of the club?
No, of course we're not.
No, because
I'll tell you why.
No, hold on. If you look at, let's pick someone like Jadon Sancho, right? It's gone from Man United on. Is it on loan? I think it's to Chelsea, right? To Chelsea. He's not going to go to Spurs. He's going to go to a club where he thinks he can win trophies. So Spurs are going to have to bring in, if you call them average players, and then the manager's going to have to get the best out of them and turn them into great players. Because Spurs ain't in the market to be able to compete with the likes of Arsenal, Chelsea, Liverpool, Man United, Man City. Well, they're not.
Well, they were, because we're in the a few years ago, we were in the Champions League final, not many moons ago. For quite a number of years, we qualified for the Champions League. Yeah? There's only one team that can win the Premier League, and we're not going to win the league. But, for example, and I'll give you one example of recruitment.
Okay.
Spurs needed a goalkeeper, correct?
Yeah.
When they got Vicario. They could have got David Raya if they'd have paid the money. They didn't pay the money, and Arsenal, who already had Aaron Ramsdale, then went for David Raya. So they can get the players because they can pay the money.
Do you know what?
What I'm saying is the recruitment of the club is the recruitment. The football we run, we've got a brilliant business. What we are no longer a football club.
My only thing with that is that, and I agree with that, is that he's talking about average players. I like Solanke. I think he's good.
I like Solanke. Brendan Johnson.
He's done really well. He's probably been
100%.
one of their best players.
Yeah.
But who realistically are they going to... So they sell Harry Kane. Who's going to come in the door? Who do they think they're going to get to come in the door?
They're not... If they got a flat 100 for Kane,
yeah,
they're not going to be able to bring a player to the club worth 100 million.
No, exactly. So I understand...
Because £100 million players. And again, no disrespect, but they're not going to choose Spurs if you're that good a player.
No.
But he makes a point, fair play. Things like David Raya, right? They didn't go for him. Do you remember years ago when Jack Grealish was at Villa? Yeah. I think they wanted something like 25 million and Spurs were only prepared to pay 21.
Yeah.
Things like that, that's unacceptable.
But even that, though, we're only saying that about Jack now because he's a top player now. At the time, they're still buying potential because Jack, he's leaving Villa. He was brilliant at Villa, but we still didn't know he hadn't played in the Champions League. We weren't sure if he could compete, you know what I mean, the top level.
Yep.
So all of a sudden now, we're saying that now they should have bought him and that they missed out on a player, but we didn't know that he was that Jack Grealish by us. But,
okay, ABB. You were playing the before your time? I can't
before my time.
Was it?
Yeah.
He was before you or after you?
He was after me. He was when Bale was Bale. Because Bale loved him, didn't he?
Did he?
Yeah, remember the amount of times he'd run up to him and hug him? And that?
Yeah, I remember the one at Carrow Road where he got an absolute screamer. And at West Ham.
West Ham's the one.
Yeah, I remember that as well.
He had a period, Bale, didn't he, where he was just... Like, someone put a little... Sorry, I never got to go think about a little clip up of a montage of him at Real Madrid. People forget
I sent you that.
How good is he?
Yeah.
Flip it, honestly.
See, that's the problem with great players. When they're finished, we forget. Do you remember the clip I sent you about a week ago of Zidane?
Yeah. I mean, listen, I forgot about him.
Yeah, I forgot about we are talking genius.
Yeah. I was watching something this morning, actually, Ronaldinho. I swear to you, honestly. This guy...
Were you watching it in the shower?
No, this guy. This guy.
I know. I would say the most naturally gifted footballer ever. Yeah. Underrated?
Do you know what it is? He's not underrated, but because they think stats. People are like, well, look, he can't be that good. He only scored this amount of goals, but come on.
I'm sure he had a chance to go to Man United.
No, Alex Ferguson in his book said that he was done.
Yeah, and what happened?
And he ended up going to Barca.
Imagine him at United.
I think he bought Bebe or someone instead of.
talkSPORT Drive with Andy Goldstein. Monday to Friday afternoon from 4 on AM, on DAB, via the talkSPORT app and on your smart speaker. talkSPORT.